Hello and welcome to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. Here, our strawberries are so perfect. They come with their own loot beam. This is episode number 7, The Lost Animal Charm. I am the learning gamer as the Sweaty.
I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us in this episode. And this week, come with me and you'll be in a Monster Hunter world of pure imagination.
Such a good song. But before that, let's take a look at the news. We have this week's news. First in our docket, Dauntless Leaf Early Access finally. Yay! So you wanna scratch that issue of Monster Hunter World and you have no money? Dauntless is for you.
It is for you. It's a really good game, actually. And,
Yes.
And it does a good job in being different to Monster Hunter, actually.
Yeah, a bit different enough. Like, it has a different kind of a structure. The concept is kind of the same. You go and fight monsters, but I think the main difference is, like, generally the monsters don't interact between them. They're just like arenas with the single monster that you have to kill every time.
Yeah, although, I mean, that's true. Although they mentioned, I remember watching at some point one of their roadmaps or like Q&As or something like that, where they mentioned that they want to include more interactions between monsters and like smaller animals and things like that, just to make the world feel more alive.
Yeah.
But I will say that the main difference is that the monsters in Dauntless feel more like bosses. Like,
that is true. They actually have like mechanics and they actually have like a lot of
and there's other like mechanical differences that are like really important for the gameplay.
Yeah.
But like okay, me saying that they feel more like bosses is nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different approach to the genre.
Which is curious because it came like the announcement of Dauntless came in like at the same time they announced Monster Hunter World. So it's not like Dauntless come out in the hype after Monster Hunter World had like all the success. They were announced kind of the same time, like covering that sort of genre, and they're plenty different, but they're equally fun in their own niche, right?
It has its own strengths. It's actually a really fun game to play. I hope it grows larger, actually. I really like it.
Yeah, so with the officially getting out of early access, we have a new weapon, which are like fisticuffs and kind of a monk-like class for the game. And it's very cool. Like you literally punch the monster in the face, and then you shoot like a very high, like a very pointed beam, like a Kamehameha sort of stuff. It's a really cool weapon. And they have like, with this, they have like a lot of weapons by now, right? They're kind of like 12 weapons by now in the game.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
They have like sword, hammer, spear, the guns. They have more weapons. I think with this, I think they have like around 8 to 10 weapons, if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong, but those are the weapons I remember because those are the ones that I actually most use, right?
I think with the new fist, they have 8 weapons.
There you go, 8 weapons. Yeah, so I was right the first one. Not
7
weapons. 7 weapons. 7 weapons.
Yeah, sword, hammer, chain blades, axe, war pike, the repeaters, which are the guns, and the fists that are called
there's the new
ether
ones.
strikes.
The
ether strikes.
Yes. So they're getting there. And I get the feeling that this is the way they're gonna grow more or so, like adding new weapons onto the game, and then on top of that, like putting some extra monsters. They have the bounty system now, which is different of what we experienced when they give you like a challenge to go and do for certain rewards. Their reward pass is very good, and on top of that, like
Yeah.
the game is free, man. We pay for Monster Hunter World, but this game is free and it's very good to be like.
And it has a lot of room for growing. So
yes.
So I expect big things from Dauntless actually.
Yeah, and they have like they've been having like a very good like growth, right? From the alpha, and now the games continue to be like very very polished. They haven't like done like they haven't taken like a very atrocious bad decisions in their way to like improving the game.
I actually feel like they benefited a lot from the Monster Hunter World success in the West because it brought a lot of attention to the genre.
Absolutely. They definitely,
and like is definitely not just a copy. It has its own things to offer. So like a lot of the fans of the genre like keep an eye on the game. It's like, yeah, it's a really good game.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a little bit simpler, but it's a newer game. Like
and the fact that it's like a little bit more simpler it does make it like bad in any stretch of the imagination.
It's not bad at all. It's just a thing.
Yeah. it's just like a more streamlined version of Monster Hunter. But like to make a direct comparison, it's like a very streamlined version of Monster Hunter, but much more accessible for people who don't want to like fight against a monster for like hours and hours.
Yeah, although I really expect the game to gain a lot of complexity with time.
Yes, absolutely. You have to think that Monster Hunter World was like an absolute complete game with like 14 weapons straight out of the box. It's an actually overwhelming game if you like.
Not only that, like if you think about it, Monster Hunter World has been in development for decades now because they've just been polishing the system.
Yeah.
Throughout all the games, so they know what they want to do with their games. So.
Yeah, the franchise is actually very old. Like the actual franchise is very old.
And like the mechanisms and the things carry over throughout the title. So
yeah. So yeah,
it's an unfair advantage if you're gonna compare it to Dauntless.
Absolutely, but here in the Sweaty the Game and in the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design, we recommend Dauntless. Go try it.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
It's a very good game. He's out of early access, so it is considered a complete game, technically speaking. And very good.
Give it a try. It's free.
Yeah, it's cool. It's free. All right, our next new docket thingy news kind of thingy. Even with all this stuff that happened in Borderlands 3, it still said like hotcakes, man. It sell like nothing. Borderlands 3 refines Mayhem, established franchise as billion-dollar global brand. So even with performance issue, all the controversy around the Epic Game Store, all in like all the crazy things going around the game with Randy Pitchfork, he's the president of Gearbox and all this stuff. It sold a ton. So congratulations to Borderlands 3, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's not surprising, really. Like a lot of people been waiting for this sequel for a decade now, for a lot of for years now. Decades now, just years.
7 years. 7 years. I think it was 7 years.
7 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the franchise has a lot of good faith. The game was really good, and the word of mouth was good, aside from the technical issues. So.
Yeah. So this is it's like
I'm not surprised.
It's like everything in this industry. If you make a good game, people will buy it no matter what it is. Like it's like there's no point to it, right? If you make a good game,
No, I have to say I really dislike the Epic Store. It's
terrible. It's terrible.
It's awful.
Yeah, and it's sad that Dauntless is in the Epic Store, but what can you do?
It is sad, but when the studio that was making Dauntless got approached by Epic, they get a big infusion of money that allowed them to do a lot of stuff. So yeah, but the Epic Store is just awful.
Crap. Yeah, it's terrible. There is no doubt about it. I just want to play my game, and that's it. I don't want to deal with any more like crazy stores. like 567 stores, as we are gonna have to deal with like 567 streaming services in the future, which I'm not looking forward to. But anyways, congratulations to Borderlands. They sell a lot. The game is very good. They're working on the technical problems, which is very cool. So yeah, it sold very well, guys.
Yeah.
We recommend Borderlands 3. But if you can't wait, buy it in Steam in next year.
Next year?
Yeah, 6 months after the release was September is next year. Yeah. There you go. Buy next year.
I see.
Anyways. And for final news, oh my god. Fallout 76 T14 armor helmet, the helmet that comes with the special edition, has been recalled due to mold risk.
Okay.
So, Fallout 76 is one of those looter games which we didn't like fall in the trap of. This has been a terrible game, full of controversies, full of terrible practices everywhere. Like, I'm talking about like they recalled their special edition nylon bags because they were supposed to be of other materials. The game is awful, bad performance, crashes. It's horrible game, man. Horrible. And now this is like the last saving thing of the special edition, which was the helmet that came in it, has to be recalled because it can be like generally deadly mold. So yeah.
Everything about that game and that launch was awful. So.
Oh man, it was worse than Anthem, man. It was like worse than Anthem.
I mean, is Fallout 76 that?
Yes, as dead as Anthem.
I don't know.
It's as dead as Anthem. Like the game is equally bad, right? The only difference is like the guys in Anthem just shut up and didn't cause any more controversy besides their terrible game. But the guys who Fallout 76 just keep like getting in trouble over and over again and over and over again. So, and he's big in Bethesda just was terrible with this game, like absolutely horrific in everything they did.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that is the terrible things about Fallout 76. Thank God we avoid this game, really.
I was never really hyped about that game.
I
never played the previous one, so I didn't
play
care.
any of the Fallout games?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Why not?
Because I don't care.
You don't care, but they're good games, Lucho. What are you talking about?
They are not the kind of thing that I like.
You don't like apocalyptic kind of sexy retro RPGs?
It doesn't sound appealing to me. I don't know.
You never play a Fallout game?
Nope.
Wow. Okay.
I've never played Half-Life. I have
never played Half-Life. Like nope. Oh my god. Why you haven't ever played any of the Half-Life? Half-Life 2?
Nope.
I would take Half-Life 2. Have you played Portal?
Nope.
Oh my god, jeez. Right,
I don't like puzzle games.
You don't like puzzle games?
No.
Oh my god. You don't like puzzle games, so you don't like Magic the Gathering, right?
That's not a puzzle game.
Technically, well, kind of.
No, it's not.
All right, fair enough. But with that, I hope this is the last controversy of Fallout 76 because at this point it's just a joke, man. It's just a meme. It's just worse than Anthem, man. It's just like so many stuff that happened with this game that is ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll see.
You'll see. Well, hopefully Bethesda comes out with like better products in the future and then learn everything from the disaster Fallout 76, like absolutely wreck shape of this game.
Yeah.
That's our last doc of the news, kind of like a calm week for the news.
Yeah, I mean, Borderlands have been, at least in my horizon, the main thing, so.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been playing a lot of Borderlands here.
Yep. Basically.
So, our main topic, but first with the disclaimer. Don't forget that The discussion here is based on our own opinions and our own in-game experience. We are not aiming to be game journalists. We do a little bit of research if we doubtful about something, but the aim of this podcast is to like draw conclusions for our own experience and our own like feelings with the game, our own relationships with the game.
Yep. And this week we finally criticize the best game of 2018.
Yes. And 2019.
Still, no?
Yeah, I know. And it's the best game of 2019 still. They release Iceborne, dude. They release Iceborne.
You know that I'm a huge fan of the Division.
All right, fair enough. Wow. Okay, cool. I get it. It's hard. This year has been seen like very good games.
Actually, yeah. It actually has, surprisingly. I'm still waiting for all the new stuff for Warframe, so.
Yeah, they should like release it this year, right?
Hopefully. Hopefully. I'm so hyped and like waiting so hard for the new for the Furion thing.
And Railjack and all this sort of stuff, man.
Yeah, Railjack is they rename it. It's called the Furion now.
Furion, right?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. It was supposed to launch on fall.
Yeah.
And here we are in the middle of fall.
Nothing.
And the new war is supposed to come on December?
On December, yes. I'm waiting for that one. Like I want my new war because I like the lore, the lore of Warframe. I really like the lore of Warframe, so I'm hyped for the new war. Not as hyped for Furion, but I'm really hyped for the new war. I'm like, come on, dude. Come on.
I'm really hyped for Furion because it's like FTL in Warframe. It's amazing. I want my own ship.
I know, it's really good. It's really cool. I know, but for me, yes, I would like Furion too. Like it sounds really fun. But I want that storyline to be concluded. They tease me with like the new boss and the lines that spoilers, by the way, for Warframe lore. Spoilers for Warframe lore. But they tease me a lot with like the dialogue when we were killing the lolly thingy.
What thingy?
The polylolly thingy, the boss.
Yeah, the ropa populist.
That thing.
Yeah, but I mean, they basically, you know that the 3 main quests that we have now in Warframe.
Yes.
Or like a complete trilogy, and this is a new thing.
The 3 main quests. So you're talking about
Second Dream,
War Within,
and I always forget the last one.
Retribution?
No. My head.
The thing with Umbra.
The thing with Umbra, yeah.
Something with re.
My head.
It's something with Riri.
There's nothing with Riri. What?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Do you find it?
Or within, I'm looking. I'm Googling.
You can do it. I will entertain the audience while you Google the name of the third thing.
It's not a war within.
Do you find it?
Come on.
Revengeance?
I cannot find it.
Maybe? Like
what?
like the Kojima game?
What? No. What are you talking about? The Sacrifice.
The Sacrifice. There you go.
Yeah, those 3.
They are like considered a trilogy per se?
Yeah. And like the New War, which is the next quest,
Yeah,
is supposed to open
another
like the next
trilogy or
chapter.
the next chapter or
Not
whatever.
like we don't have another trilogy, but like the next chapter of the story. Like
Yeah,
because this initial trilogy kind of sets the lore for what are warframes if you think
yeah,
about it.
they are.
Like
Yeah,
like on the first one we discover what they are. On the second one we get
please.
some hints about their powers or how they work, and on
Yeah,
the sacrifice we actually find out about how a lot of the warframes are made and that they are people.
they are people too.
So like in my eyes, those three quests are kind of telling us the story of how warframes came to be.
Yes, like the entity of Warframe per se.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
warframes themselves, and yeah, allegedly a new war should be like the opening to a new chapter of things. And
of the Lord. But I still like to my point. I still
oh, there are a lot
love
of
the.
questions open.
Yeah, to
But
my point, there's like a lot of like I really like the lore of the Warframe because you have a lot of possibilities. So
yeah,
I'm really high for the next like deliver of lore because in all the other expansions they kind of give it you to you like piecemeal, but when they get these like big releases, they give you like a big chunk of lore, and that I like. I like
yeah,
to.
but if I have to be honest, based on this year's Tenocon,
Yeah,
I feel like the War Within is gonna take a while. Maybe it won't be ready for December because it comes with a full new tile set and it seemed like a new whole faction of enemies. So that's a lot of work.
so we're gonna get introduced like what is the name of those
You're
dudes?
gonna
The
get
cow,
sentient.
the sentients. Yeah, like a
Yep.
proper sentient
Yeah, a
faction.
sentient faction. Yep. And we're
Woof,
gonna get a tile set that is
pure sentient.
it's pure sentient and is basically that mother ship.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
one.
like a whole sentient, like self preparing mix of technology and an alien.
Nice from the Tau system. That looks super cool.
Yeah,
Super
but
creepy too. Like the
I
sentients are really creepy.
I think I show you some of the things that they show on Tenocon, and like
Yeah,
I feel like some of the inspiration is drawing heavily from Warhammer 40k, like with
yeah,
this big cathedral kind of thing,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love that aesthetic.
yeah. So
But
cool.
again, to a point, like it's a whole new tile set, whole new enemy faction. That's a huge work for this. So
Yeah, absolutely. But I hope
we'll see.
I don't know. I want it. I want it now.
Me too. Me too. I agree with you.
Anyways, we spent like 20 minutes talking about no, we spent like 10 minutes talking about Warframe.
Yeah, let's move on.
It happens. It happens. We're sorry. We're sorry.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. So, first thing, how to improve storytelling in Monster Hunter World. How we are going to improve storytelling in Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, so I was thinking about like we mentioned before that
Yep.
the story that's been told in the game is a fairly simple one, and I defended that as a positive thing,
Yes.
even though I really think that they could do more with the story, and it'll be really interesting to see growth in the handler. Like the handler is kind of
The story.
the main
It's
character
weird.
that is not us.
Yes. It is weird because they keep. I don't know why games keep doing this. Like by
This-
2019, there is no point of having like a silent protagonist.
I don't mind that really.
But there is no
That doesn't
point. There
bother
is
me.
no point because they keep giving dialogue to protagonists, right? Because why? And I will explain you why. Because you have a high level of interaction, right? When you this is why Half-Life is so influential in games. When the idea of silent protagonists began, it begins with Half-Life 2, which they wanted to give more they wanted to tell a more rich story inside a game, right? So the problem is like I want to tell a rich story, but I want to keep being like immersive, right? Like an RPG, right? So the way it works in Half-Life is like you have a spaces. You're a silent protagonist, but you have a spaces where you can like fill on your own dialogue, right? You go speak to an NPC, he tells you something, and he pauses, right? As if
Yeah,
you answer, but you actually are not answering, right? That's the trick. That's the trick of the silent protagonist, right? And it works, and it works in some cases, but in the majority of cases, by now, there is no point. Just give him a voice, and if you want to role play more, then you like actually give me a choice of what voice do I want, right?
I really don't care about that much. I just feel like the handler is just underused. Like
Underuse. You know that a lot of people did
I
dislikes
know
the
that people
handler,
don't
right?
like her. I really like the handler.
Yeah. All right. All right.
But people don't like her because she's annoying during the missions.
Correct.
Like she just keeps saying stupid shit during the missions. That's why people don't like her.
Exactly.
But taking that apart, like that doesn't bother me that much as it bothers a lot of people. I kind of don't care.
Yeah.
But my point is, you could tell an interesting story with that character.
Okay.
Because we don't have agency over the handler. So I could use it just to, I don't know, like she could start as this clumsy, annoying handler thingy, and like throughout the missions she learns things and she
But
grows.
she never learns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's underused. That's the problem. That's exactly the problem.
She keeps it, like in the first mission, she almost get it like 3 times, and she keeps doing it through all the story. It's like, come on, like you have to learn at some point.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's exactly my point. Like they could use her to tell like a compelling story about growth and like
I agree with
I don't know, something.
Yeah, because it makes sense at the beginning that she's like that. Because when we get introduced to her, she's like, "Oh, I'm new and I want to see stuff and eat food and like stuff and things." And she's as eager as you to explore the world, right? But she should grow with you because you learn that things will bite you and try to eat you all the time in this game. But she doesn't learn that, right? That's the problem. Like that's the missed opportunity. She should be like a reflection. If she's your partner, she should be a reflection of your growth as a player.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And like on top of that, on most of the cutscenes, she has a lot of interaction with other NPCs. Like, with the commanders of the fleets, with some of the hunters that we find on the field.
Yes.
So I think it's a lost opportunity there.
Absolutely.
Just make a compelling story about her and
actually give her something to do, and we have and you interact all the time with her. So it's such a clear missed opportunity, and it's weird because you never do something for her. You're just like she's just like your pet. That chases you around. Because if you think about interactions with the other NPCs, it's like you do quests for them. They better themselves through you. For example, I'm giving you this example: the cat chef. You do 3 quests for him.
It's not a cat.
The Palico chef. You do. I'm sorry. You do 3 quests for him, and he becomes a better cook because of it. They give him like. And like this is in a micro way. Like I'm telling you, like this is small quest that you do for him. You go get 3 ingredients for him, and he gives you better meals. Right? That's it. And like this is the simplest way of grow an NPC. Right?
Yep.
And you never do anything for the handler. Never ever. She stays on the base. She eats, and then she goes with you to the most dangerous things ever. And then she runs away from everything, and it's really sad.
Yeah, she almost gets eaten by Devil Joe.
Yep. And by, what was that first thing that, by an Anjanet?
No, by Anjanet at the beginning.
Yeah. And there was another one. By Pingratian.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
shall we keep going? But that's the point. Like she's like the reflection of your character. She's like kind of a semi proxy because besides your
Yeah.
palico, she's the thing that hangs around with you the most throughout the game.
Yeah. She's supposed to, and I think everyone understands that. Like she's with you all the time, doing all the things with you. So
Technically, in the camp, she goes to
yeah,
camp with you, right?
yeah, yeah. She goes to camp. Like I guess that she's the one who prepares the camp and everything because if you eat in the camp, she's the one that cooks for you and
Yeah.
all the stuff.
So yeah, you should be like she's a very important NPC.
Yeah,
And like
and I don't. I really don't dislike her as much as people do.
yeah. But I think the most reason why people do is because of that, because she's given so much importance and she doesn't grow with you is a problem. Because you are this strong, like full metal plate dude who has been killing everything in his path. And then the NPCs go and talk with her. It's just like and you're like, oh my
I think
god.
people don't like her because she's just annoying during the hunts, like telling you stupid shit. Like, are you low health? Drink a potion when you're like hunter rank 100. Like, stop it. Like, I know, not anymore.
Oh, your weapon is dull. Sharpen it.
Yeah,
No, really?
that's why I feel like that's why people don't like her
Yeah.
because she's just annoying during the quest, like during
Yeah.
the hunt, saying dumb shit like that. And I get
Oh
it,
my
but
god.
like,
Yeah, but yeah, she's one of the most glaring like missed opportunities in the game.
yeah, it's a complete misuse of a character, of an NPC.
Yeah. But I will argue that in that point of like improving storytelling, I would probably try to put more again, like I will try to put more emphasis on the main character, like give him a voice. And like because it's very cool. It's very and the game does it. It's very cool when they show you with the armor and the weapon that you use in the cutscenes. It's like,
Yep.
oh yeah, that's me, so cool with my weapon and everything, blah blah blah. And you never speak with anyone. You never properly interact with anybody because of the silent protagonist
You
trope.
know that that never bothers me because I don't know. Like when I think of all the dialogue that we have as a character with other NPCs,
Yeah,
it always reminds me of like all JRPGs.
yeah.
Like I don't know, like the old Final Fantasy games and stuff like
But the
that.
old Final Fantasy games, the main character did have like a lot
I
of
know,
dialogue
but
and
like a lot of the I know that they have a voice, but like a lot of the NPC interactions
yeah,
on the old games were just like text that were scrolling down,
yeah.
and they had no voice really.
Yes, that's technology advancing. But what's your
Yeah.
point?
So my point is that Monster Hunter does the same thing with a lot of the NPCs dialogue that is just
Ooh.
scrolling down dialogue
Yeah.
that you click and click and click. So it gives me that same feeling. So it really I don't know if that's why, but it doesn't bother me that the main character doesn't have a voice. It's like, oh, okay, this feels kind of retro to me, so I'm okay with that.
All right. Fair, but in the realm of improving things, I probably will pivot a little bit more
Maybe.
of and I'll put like a voice into our hunter, and you choose the voice the same as you choose the voice of your palico.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? You actually choose the voice of your character, but your character never speaks. He screams and says her and do growls and that sort of stuff. You remember in the character creator, you actually
Yeah.
choose a voice for your character.
Yeah. That could improve it. I don't know. I don't know why that doesn't matter to me that much. But sure, yeah, that would definitely improve the
Yeah,
the role playing.
it creates a connection between you. Like one of the best examples of this is Mass Effect 1 or 2. They both have like a very deep technically you're playing a character, but the character is a proxy for you, because the main character is Shepard, but he doesn't have like the story. You choose it, so you kind of construct this character, and he has a voice, and you choose exactly the dialogue that he will speak, so you can properly role play, even with the parameter, like very limited parameters that the game has. But something like that, in a way, shape, or form, will always improve like your connection with the character that you're role playing as in the games, generally speaking.
I don't know. I don't know if it. Anthem is an example where that doesn't help.
Anthem is oh my god, does Anthem
Yeah, they
has
have.
that system?
Yeah, you can choose
Yeah, you
dialogue
speak in them.
options
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
and
right.
you
You're
speak,
right. Yes, yes, yes. It does.
and it doesn't add. Like I feel like that's a system that can deliver like good stories in video games,
Yeah,
but if not well used,
done.
like in
Yeah,
Anthem, it just
yeah.
falls flat in its face.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like that kind of thing, that kind of choosing dialogue, and it's too much work if you're not gonna deliver a meaningful story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
But can
and
you not
again,
deliver a meaningful story in the Monster Hunter world?
I don't think so.
you
I
know,
think
you know
it's a
that.
simple world.
Oh my god, it's a simple word. Okay. You know that, have you ever like tried to check the lore of Monster Hunter World?
Yeah,
Like
but
that
it's not
is,
delivered through a game.
yes.
Yeah,
But my point is like the lore is very interesting, and like there is
but
opportunities to tell this
but
like,
there's a huge difference between the lore being interesting and trying to deliver a storytelling game. Those are two
okay, all
completely
right, I
different
get
things.
you. Yeah, I know where you're going. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, I think it's possible. This thing is possible. Like this like I think I insist that it's a missed opportunity. You can like do a great story, and it shouldn't be that hard, because the word of Monster
But it
Hunter
is
World is
no.
super cool.
I agree with you, but it is actually pretty hard to deliver an interesting story, or
Really?
like
All
in
right.
any video game.
From storyteller to storyteller. How hard is to deliver an interesting story?
It is really hard. Like you have to think about it.
Yes, that is true.
It's a lot of work, and I don't know. It's not that easy.
So at the end of the day, in the realm of development of games, you will allocate resources to something, right? You cannot do everything in one game, or the game becomes like ridiculously expensive, like some games are, right? For Monster Hunter World, I think the priorities always been like the gameplay has to be great, and the monster has to be great. The rest of things, if we have time and money, we will do it great, right? I think that's the point. But in our ideal world, they will put a little bit more resources into telling an interesting story, and that will make the immersion of the game so much stronger.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that doing it through a handler is probably easier and less expensive
That actually do
than to
it through the
giving
main.
the main character a voice and dialogue options and
Okay, yeah.
stupid shit like that.
All right, fair,
That
fair.
people like me who play Monster Hunter World like really don't care.
Okay.
Like I'm perfectly happy being a silent main character, just emoting.
Emoting and dancing.
Yeah, like I don't wanna like I don't wanna talk to people when I'm playing. Like, you know what I mean?
That's That sound like a very like a very cliche gamer. I don't want to talk to people when I'm playing games.
I mean, not to emphasis, like.
But it sounded like that. It sounded like that.
It sounded like that. Yeah,
All right. So you don't want to talk to people. Well, yeah. Yes. The thing is, like, there is a thing that comes with the genre, with the RPG genre, when you expect kind of like that, like part of the role playing experience to have like a different, an interesting story to go through.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But it it depends. Like,
yeah, it depends on what.
it depends because you could deliver. Like in my mind, there are two options for role playing.
All right.
You either deliver like an amazing story.
Yeah.
That you feel like invested about and you care about the characters and so deep.
Yes.
The type of game that I don't care.
Okay.
or you deliver a world that is interesting for you to explore, and then you build your own role playing. Like it kind of gives you a rich, interesting enough sandbox of world, where you can role play to your heart's content.
Okay.
And I feel like Monster Hunter does a way better job on that second.
In the second thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But
like it gives you an interesting world. Yeah, go do your thing. Like
yeah, go
explore, go play.
Go play. Yeah.
Instead of trying to be like super story heavy. So
but but there is examples in the industry where we can have them both.
Where? No, I disagree.
The Witcher 3?
I got bored.
What?
I got bored of the story, yeah.
You got bored of the story of Witcher 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
I really didn't care about the guy.
Wow. Okay.
What can I do? I didn't care about the game.
But you did like the actual RPG part and the mechanics and the world, right?
Yeah, it was okay.
My point is, my point is that game delivers in both fronts. The story is very interesting and the world is very interesting to explore. So I say that it's possible.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion, the opinion of a lot of critics.
No, but that's the problem with RPGs. Like, that's the problem with role playing. That every people role plays in a different way.
Every people role plays. Yeah.
And I don't role play through story. I role play through my builds and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. In that regards, yes. In that regards, yes.
Yeah. So that's why, for example, like we're playing Borderlands 3 a lot, and I was playing Flag with you, and like there is this OP build thing that I'm not gonna use. Because I want to have a hunter build. Like I want to role play with my pet. So that's and that's the build that I do.
All right.
Like without regard to the thing. So that's how I role play. I don't. And in that sense, The Witcher 3 is not that great. Like it's kind of, yeah. Like the systems of the game are okay.
Okay.
And like they give you options. You can be this or that. It's kind of like if you're not invested in the story, the rest of the game is kind of meh.
I don't know what to tell you.
It is true. Like if you don't know the guy, the rest of the systems.
I don't know if I can have like an like I don't know if I can have a like a neutral opinion about Witcher 3. I don't know if I have anything. It's hard.
I mean, you should. You're a grown man. You should be able to differentiate your own bias from facts.
All right, all right. Uh, with all the knowledge that I've acquired, The Witcher 3 as a game hits every single point of the genre. That's why it's so acclaimed, right? The only major difference is that the game has a settled protagonist, right? So in technical terms, it has a smaller like it has a smaller specter spectrum
Spectrum.
spectrum of role playing, right? That's right. But the fact that he has a named protagonist, it helps him in the story that he's telling, right? About who's telling. About the role playing, like the system in The Witcher 3 of what you can do with the system is really varied. Like you can be a pure warrior, you can be a pure mage, technically speaking.
Yeah, it's like the system is as deep as Fables.
What?
Have you ever played Fable?
I play Fable. There's
Yeah,
like
it's the
no
same thing.
comparison.
Like,
what are you talking about?
what?
Oh my god!
You can be a pure caster, a range guy shooting arrows, or a
Yeah.
melee guy,
Yeah, and you
or
can
any
have, like,
combination in between them.
yeah, like permutation. What else? What else do you want? Like it's like a typical RPG, like very typical RPG like components. You
What?
are able to customize your character at your play start. Like what else do you want, right?
I don't know. I want to get married. I want to. Like, it's just The Witcher is too boring.
Wow. Okay.
Like, the story is too boring. Like if the story is not interesting enough, that system is kind of meh or done.
Do you watch like Game of Thrones?
What do you think?
No.
You know the answer. Come on.
That's why. Witcher has like a lot of the same similar kind of political intrigue.
That's not. That's not my problem with The Witcher. It's not the political intrigue. It's that it's boring.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I didn't know this about you, Lucho.
What? That I don't like serious games?
That you don't like Witcher. That you like Witcher 3.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just I don't think it's as amazing as people paint it.
Oof, okay.
I think it's overrated.
Overrated.
Yeah.
Okay.
By a landslide.
Wow. Okay.
Diablo 2 is better in all regards for me.
What?
Yeah.
Halo 2 is better, You're gonna kill me at this right now.
Why? I care more about that game than I care about The Witcher 3.
Oh god. All right. Okay.
That's what it is. What it is. What can I do?
It is what it is indeed. Oh my god.
I care more about the angels and demons in Diablo than...
Diablo is fine, but okay, I don't know what to tell you about you, The Witcher. Oh my god.
Why? I don't care about The Witcher.
It's such a rich story. It's such an excellent game in terms of gameplay, construction of the technology. Story. In every regard, the game is like flawless almost. Like close to it. Close to what like
I couldn't bother finishing the story. Like
wow.
I get like to the middle of the story and I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit really. So
okay. I don't know what to tell you.
What? Like there is no perfect product, and The Witcher 3 is not the exception to that rule.
Oh, okay. That I will grant you. Yes.
Yeah, it's boring to me.
Oh my god. Make me suffer deep inside, Lucho.
Why?
I don't know. Like it's okay. We have different opinions. That's good.
Yeah, of course we have different opinions. And you are wrong. That's fine. I get it.
Okay, I'm wrong. Sure. Sure.
People can like bad things, so it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Like that,
People can have awful taste.
Okay.
I can live with that.
Oh my god. Okay, stop. Okay. I don't know. Just like I don't know what to tell you at this point.
Oh, I can keep talking shit about The Witcher 3.
Stop. You're just hurting me.
And all this amazing story-driven games that I don't give a shit about.
Oh, so you have a real problem with... What is your favorite storytelling game then?
I think I already told you this. Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 3 Dawn of War?
Warcraft
3. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Warcraft 3. Oh my god, you fry my brain, man.
It's an amazing story.
It's good. It's very good story. Yes, but like how did you?
It was so good that when I finished it, I wanted to know more about all these characters. And that's what I got into World of Warcraft.
Okay.
It's an amazing story. It has everything. It has betrayal.
I agree with you. It's a very good story, but like, I don't know.
It has. I don't know. It's just a simple like hero journey story with like a couple of plot twists in the middle that make it really interesting.
Sure. Oh, Jesus.
It's the best story ever told in video games for me.
The best story ever told in video games is...
But maybe on par to original StarCraft.
On par.
I love that story.
The StarCraft. That
it's
story is
so good.
Very good. Yeah.
It's so good.
But like, I don't know. I cannot draw comparisons.
And just to your point, like the StarCraft 1, the original story, has a lot of like political intrigue and like betray between factions and stuff.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting story.
Okay.
And it's delivered in the most boring way possible.
Well, they have like cool for the time. They had like cool cutscenes and that sort of stuff. They had a little bit of voice acting.
Yeah, like most of the stories deliver
by voice acting.
Screen between the like before the missions.
Yeah.
That they show like these faces talking to you.
Yeah.
With no cutscenes, really. It's just they're just voices discussing stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they have really few cutscenes because they were too expensive to make at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And even for that, like delivery method, like such a simple tool to deliver the story, I found myself completely engrossed on that one. It's like, oh, it's so interesting, and I care about John Raynor. What's his name?
Raynor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I care about the guy, and I care about Kerrigan. It's a good story.
Yes, indeed. Oh.
But The Witcher 3? Nah.
Oh, I got to stop.
Nah. Doesn't hold anything to
my
God. Good old
Blizzard. Have you played like really like widely acclaimed like storytelling games? Like
it can be widely acclaimed. That doesn't mean that that it's appealing to me.
Yeah, that's true. But like, do you play like the Mass Effect trilogy?
No. I never played Mass Effect.
Did you play the any of the Knights of the Old Republic games?
Not really. No, I played Knights of the Old Republic, the original one.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, I played that one. It would be pretty cool to revisit that game and that story now that I'm a little bit more invested in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But at the time, I probably didn't pay enough attention, so
it
kind of went over my head.
Fair. Okay. All right. Anything else about like how to improve the storytelling Monster Hunter World before you keep like breaking my plates?
Make it like StarCraft.
What? Make it like StarCraft?
And
Just
F The
make.
Witcher 3. I don't give a
Oh,
shit about
come
that game.
on. Come on. Are you gonna actually play you're gonna actually play Cyberpunk 2077, right?
Uh, um, maybe, probably. I don't know.
Maybe, probably, you don't know. All right.
Like, I'm not super hyped about the game.
Yes. That's it.
I don't get why people are so hyped about the
Because of
game.
Witcher 3. Because of the Witcher franchise. That's yeah. That's why
Okay,
the
then I
people
don't
is
care.
yeah, people is so hyped because they deliver like such a great storytelling game through The Witcher that people like I really like that they're doing Cyberpunk 2077, which is a pure RPG kind of like heavy narrative game with more of the side of the RPG, and it's a new story, based on the books of the I think the author of The Witcher is like Nordic somewhere. Yeah.
No, I know. I don't. It's not my thing. It's
And
not
they
my
have
type of
Keanu
game.
Reeves and stuff.
They have Keanu Reeves. Okay. Like, no, okay, don't get me wrong. Like, the guy's amazing and I love his movies, but having them appear in what's what? E3 for a video game? I
Yeah,
don't give a
because
shit.
he's gonna be like one of the like he's gonna
I
voice
know.
one of
I
the
know, but
important
still.
NPCs of the lore of Cyberpunk.
I know that, but
Like it's such a like it's this game Cyberpunk is like it's gonna be such an interesting thing to behold because the only other game that is based there's two other games that are based in RPG books, like actually hardcover RPG books. And one is Divinity, which is based in a bunch of D&D books, the Divinity saga.
no.
Yeah, and like Divinity 2 Original Sin is like kind of like you take a D&D book and then you actually make
Yeah.
it a video game, like super interesting. And the other one is Vampire Bloodlines.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like an old like an old kind of like RPG kind of game based on the Vampire the Masquerade books, right?
Okay.
And this
Yeah.
will be the biggest release of a game based on purely directly in an RPG book. Cyberpunk 2070 is
Talk to me when they do
72.
something with Exalted.
Oh my god, that would be fantastic.
Talk to me, and
but that's my point. That's my point. Like this game will set a precedent when you can get games based on RPG books. Imagine if you can do an RPG game based on Exalted. How you build that?
you know that that's never gonna happen. Exalted is so small.
Yeah, it's so niche, it's so sad.
I know. It's such a small RPG game.
And for me, it's like the best RPG game.
I agree.
Like
And you
actually,
know
pen
that I
and
agree
paper
with
that I
you.
play. It's the best RPG pen and paper game that I ever played. Like
You're preaching to the
hands down.
choir. I
know,
agree.
I know, hands down. It's like
It's the best freaking tabletop RPG ever
yeah,
made.
yeah.
And it's so underrated.
So underrated, yeah. So can you imagine if because 20 like Cyberpunk is kind of the same. Like Cyberpunk is not as widely known as
Yeah, that's true.
and that's the precedent that Cyberpunk 2077 is gonna set, right? And that gives that opens a door for like in a future possibility that a studio takes Exalted Saga and actually makes it a fantastic game. I don't know how it will work, man. Oh my god, it'll be like something like have you heard of this game like Setsuna?
Yeah.
It'll be like something like that.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be like something like super crazy, that chaotic as Setsuna because in Exalted is the only RPG book, like series of RPG books where they have the extras mechanic, right?
Yeah.
Where you're killing like where you something like there is a game which does something similar. Then when you kill like a bunch of dudes with your powers, like a mob of dudes, and it's like a very famous game series of games. And the name is escaping right now. It is anyways. There's a game that is like more of a hack slash with that, but
Okay.
this will be an RPG game with the extra systems with everything that Exalted offers. So it'd be like a Setsuna game. Anyways, it'd be
Yeah,
crazy.
but like, would you agree that what makes Exalted such an amazing game is that it relies heavily on the storytelling side of the game. Like that's what makes Exalted campaigns interesting. It's just the world itself.
Yeah, the Lord of the World. Yes, I will agree to that. Yes.
Yeah, so I'll be really cautious about a video game based on Exalted, because if they're not able to deliver this really good story,
Yeah,
it would fall flat on their face real hard.
that is true. Like it has to be something as scale as Cyberpunk 2077, where they
I
have
don't give a
to.
shit about Cyberpunk in a sense.
I know. You already tell me. You don't have to repeat it. But it will have to be something like similar to that scale, where like they invest a lot of actual money and main hours to deliver a decent story inside the world, because if
Yeah.
not, we'll fall flat on the face, right?
Yep.
But how amazing could be a video game about Exalted, man? Holy crap!
It'll be amazing. I don't think it will ever happen.
You know the only problem. No, you can't even like imagine try like imagine like I don't know, I won't even know where to begin. Like, will you build it with all the Exalted availables, or will you build it only solars?
Maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't do all the Exalted. That's too much.
Or even like you can take like a cooperative approach and build it on the Dragon Blooded.
That's the option that I was thinking about it, and that would be really interesting. Even though the Dragon Blooded are the least
powerful Exalted. Yes, they are the least powerful Exalted.
Yeah, but now you have to pick one and work with them. Like you cannot go all in.
All right. You know, for anybody who is listening to us, we are very sorry, because if you don't know what is Exalted, you're like, in this point, you're like, what they're talking about.
That means nothing to you.
I mean, nothing to you. Just like the last 20 minutes of conversation mean nothing to you.
Yeah, that's true. But if you want to take something out of the conversation and you're somehow interested in tabletop RPGs, Google Exalted. It's the best RPG out there.
Ever.
Yeah. D&D has like doesn't reach the heels of this game.
Not even close. Close.
It's so far. Just Google it. Let's make the Exalted community grow.
Please go Google Exalted RPG.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyways, oh my God, this conversation got where were we before?
It got derailed.
I got derailed.
That you wanted to give a voice to the main character of Monster Hunter.
Yes.
Because you want to deliver heavy storytelling.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm arguing that I don't think that would be the right move for Monster Hunter. Like that was kind of my point. That's what I was suggesting, to something with a handler instead of the main character.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, to the next point. More missions. What?
Yeah, like I want to tie that up.
Yes.
Like to the previous one, because the handler is one of the mostly underused NPCs.
Yeah.
But sadly enough, all the other NPCs are kind of plain and like one-dimensional.
Yes, and they could be like so much better, right? They could be like
yeah, and like it's like you go to a Smitty and he's super one-dimensional. Like,
I'm a Smitty, I'm strong and bold, and I have a beer, and I take this.
And that's all there is to him.
That's all there is.
And it's the same for all of them. Like even for the most important ones, like the commander, the
The commander.
Dragonator guy.
Man, he cannot be even a more cliche of a commander, man.
He's the Dragonator guy.
He's the Dragonator guy. That's all you need to do. Where's my Dragonator?
My God. Actually, I would argue the most interesting NPC is the old guy. I forgot his name. In my opinion, the most interesting NPC is the Admiral.
Yes. Yeah. Is the most interesting. Really? The Admiral? That's your choice?
Yeah.
The Dragonator guy is the most interesting NPC?
No. The Dragonator guy is the commander.
The commander, yeah. The Admiral is the guy with the spiky hair.
Yeah. The one that probably punches monsters
to death with his head, probably. He's just like... he carries the weapon, right?
Yeah.
And he's like actually a hunter.
Commander.
And he's actually a hunter. Right?
All of them are hunters.
Well,
the commander is also a hunter.
But the thing is, like, he's on the field, right? Because you never see him.
Yeah, he's on the field.
Right?
Yep.
And you never see his weapon. At least with one of the hunters that you encountered previously, he actually has a
glaive. An insect glaive. Yeah.
An insect glaive. He actually has an insect glaive. This dude, you encounter him in the most dangerous place of the New World, and he has no weapons. Not even armor. He's just like a pure muscle dude.
No. He has a tough skin. That's
as his armor. He punches monsters to death indeed.
Yeah, but the point is that most of the NPCs are really kind of like one-dimensional and boring. Like
and they're missed opportunities because they look like very interesting characters. Right?
Yeah, like, and the designs for a lot of them are really interesting.
Really interesting, yeah. There is like this one dude, which is the old hunter, the dude that sits in the table.
The huntsman.
The huntsman, yeah. That's dude. And like he looks like a super interesting character, but you never like find out what is his deal.
Yeah.
And like and you need like, don't get me wrong, Monster Hunter World has a ton of side quests.
Yeah. It has.
It has a ton of side quests, arena quests, challenge quests.
But it could use more.
It could use more.
It could use more where like we do things for all these NPCs and we actually learn about them and we get to know them better and like see how they get to a point of the story where they're currently at, or like for example the tracker, the lady, like the old lady that we encounter on the...
Which one? The second base?
The tracker. No, the tracker is the one that we encounter on the Rotten Vale.
Yes, the old lady that saved you.
She seems super interesting.
Yeah.
And it will be like really nice to quest for her and to get to know
what is her deal?
More. Like,
well, like how did she get there? What exactly
is she doing? Yeah. What is she finding?
Yeah. And she's like a super capable person in there, like super amazing. I think Monster Hunter World suffers the same as Destiny 2 in that regard.
Yeah.
Right?
It sadly does.
It sadly suffers the same symptoms. Like, it has a shit ton of side quests and things to do, but it doesn't like weave them into interesting NPCs. Right? So the solution is the same. Make cool side quests because you know how to do it, because all the side quests that are in the game are interesting. Even the collaboration. Like, even the collaboration has more development than the actual NPCs into the game.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
They have like better stories to tell through the collaboration, and they build a bridge between these two worlds and why the monsters are here now. They're actually like interestingly explained. But there's a ton of side characters in the base that are very interesting in terms of design, that you want to know more about them, and they will benefit greatly by having all those side quests for them, right? All those random side quests of go and kill blah. Like the only characters you do side quests for are the dudes that give you all the side quests, which are silly side quests, which is technically bounties from Destiny 2. Go collect X and bring them back, and I will give you some points. Yep. And the cat for making a better the Palico chef for making a better a better
The
Palico chef.
muscular chef.
The muscular chef, yeah.
That's his name.
Yes. And that's the only two NPCs which you do directly
Yeah.
quest for.
I mean, you also do quests for the third fleet master, which is the elf-looking woman on the
on the
on the
second base.
balloon thing.
Yeah, on the second base. Yeah, on the balloon
Yep, on
base.
the second base.
Yeah. Yes, you do quest for her, but that's part of the main quest. Is the same as the connection with the commander. You technically are doing quests for the commander, right? But that's the main quest. You're not learning about the commander.
No. I completely agree. It'll be really nice to learn what weapon does the commander use.
Yeah, the Dragonator is his weapon.
The Dragonator.
He just carries a Dragonator around.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will be surprised because not the commander, the Almirant is supposed to be his father, his brother, his father. It's his father, right?
I think so.
And he looks younger than his father looks younger than him. It's so hilarious.
I mean, if not his father or anything like that, he's at least like a higher ranking hunter than him, and it's older. Definitely.
Yeah, and there's missed opportunities because you can explore the rich lore of the world through those small side quests again.
Yeah.
The same solution that we postulate on the Destiny 2 fixing podcast, it comes in clarity here. It is the same solution, right? You go and you do this small quest and you learn about the world. Like there's a bunch of questions that I have to go and look about how this world actually works because you see elves in the world. You're like,
yeah.
So not only there is like weird cats, people, Palico things that you can understand, but they actually don't speak English, or maybe they do speak, but don't know.
Yeah.
Technically, the monster is speaking to you in English, but why the others? You never see your Palico speaking to you, right? And then you see dwarves, but there are elves that are dwarves, and you're like super confused because you're not sure. And then they tell you that this hunter has been been roaming for all these years. So they're elves, kind of like in the sense that they're kind of immortal or not. And then there is normal humans around. So what is the deal? That's why you end up like. And if you do like interesting side quests, you can answer all those questions in like very small and interesting parts, which only help you for your world building, right?
I completely agree with that. Yeah, it's lacking. Although to be fair, like I care more about these NPCs than I care for the Destiny 2 ones. I don't know why. These are more wacky looking, I think. Like they just look.
Yeah, their design are more
visually
attractive.
They're more interesting.
Yeah, I think because the design is more attractive.
And the design is so unique. To me, it's more appealing. Like like even the Dragonator guy who basically just looks like a standard like old guy that it's powerful and knowledgeable. Like I don't know. I just felt more attracted to these NPCs than the Destiny ones.
But it's like it's one of the things about Destiny that their design is too plain for your taste, technically speaking. But the design of Monster Hunter World is out there all the time. That makes the character interesting too, right?
Yeah. They look more anime-like.
Yeah, more weird.
Yeah, weird, but yeah, they suffer from, like, if we're being honest, they suffer from being like super one-dimensional.
And I understand that the monsters are the main show, but you can have them both. You can have them both, right?
Maybe you cannot have them both because you cannot do everything at once, but you can just give them a little bit more, just a tiny little bit. I'm not asking for much.
Yeah, for example, like, and I'll give you an easy example. When you go and hunt Odogaron, first time in the Rotten Bell, you're kind of exploring the Rotten Bell, right? And it's just like, and just like it is presented as a normal hunt. Just go and hunt Odogaron because you need him to be dead, basically. But what will happen if you give you a quest where you go hunt Odogaron because this lady you found in the Rotten Bell needs certain type of material from him, and then she will tell you a story of what she's been doing on the bell while you go and hunt other Garon, right?
Yeah.
And why she needs this specific material, and then she opens a part of the running bell that you haven't seen because you kill other Garon for her, and there you go. Entire side quest that happens naturally in the game, related with an NPC that just gives you depth to the NPC, and just makes a better world building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like impossible or super hard.
I completely agree. Like I really wish, and we get to know some of these NPCs a little bit through some of the cinematics.
Yes.
But it's not like we get to know the Seeker, which is the guy with the insect glaive.
Yeah.
The Huntsman, he appears in a couple of them. Actually, in the Sora Magdaros.
The Sora Magdaros fights, yeah.
Yeah, he appears. He helped us fight the repel the Nergigante.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want like especially out of those like quote unquote important NPCs.
Yes.
I want to know more about them. Like I want to know what have they've been doing all this time. Because for example, the tracker lady, like she's part of the first fleet, so
yeah, so she's been there out in the like field. A lot of time.
Yeah.
In like the second most dangerous place. Yeah, in like the second most dangerous place of this world. So
yeah. Like she's been doing like ecological research.
Yeah.
She allegedly was the one who discovered like the fluvial thing, and
yes.
So, come on, lady.
How?
Give me more things.
Yeah.
I want to know.
I want to know more. You know,
I actually like her like a lot, but like she's kind of there and she doesn't do much.
You know, a game that actually really succeeds doing these side missions. Borderlands.
The Witcher 3?
No, Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 has excellent side quest, right?
It does.
They're just like they're fun. They build the NPC characters and what they are for, and they build the world in what you are playing, right? To the point that some side quests are more entertaining than the actual main quest.
Yes.
Yeah. So take a look at Borderlands 3. You're going to design side quests for your game in any shape, way, or form, and see what they're doing well. Like those small details, and make a side quest like. And it's not much effort. You just have to relate one thing with the other to make the player that something has meaning, that he's learning about the world at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to know these NPCs. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah. Just want to know what you eat. And I want to know more about the world. That's the thing. Without going to a wiki. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that should be the goal, to tell you about the world without like having to go to a wiki. Should be the last thing that you do after you like explore the Lord of the War.
I completely agree with that, sadly.
Yeah. So that's the thing. All right, our next point
is, this is something we touched on last time.
We go back because we have to drill this point.
No, because again, a big part of any RPG is getting to dress up your virtual doll however you want.
Even Borderlands have this.
I don't.
When you don't see your character half of the time, like 60% of the time, you don't see your character. Borderlands has to be a first-person shooter, has like a lot of selections of customization. When there is no need to, right? That's my point. There is no need. There is not a strictly need to, but it does have that system, and it's plenty.
Yeah. Again, like my go-to. I mean, because like this point of giving the player customization options is basically just about playing dress up with your virtual dolls. That's all there is to it. Like that's what it is. Like I just want to dress up my
character. Yeah.
And for me, like the gold standard is Warframe. Like
absolutely.
That's the goal to me, and sadly Monster Hunter World with its layer armor system falls really behind.
Yeah,
so lacking.
And it is hilarious. It's hilarious because it's not hard to do.
in principle, it shouldn't.
Yeah, because they already have a layer system. That's my point. They already have
Yeah,
layer
yeah, yeah.
system. They just have to export the armors to the other system. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Then you have to like take the file with the 3D file where the armor is built and like export it as a layer, and that's it. That's it. Right?
I agree. It's an easy solution, and in this game it's way more important because it's
Exactly my point. Yeah, exactly.
it's a
That's why I bring
3D.
the example of Borderlands 3. Like in this
Yeah,
game, is
it's a
so
third
much
person.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a third person perspective. You see the armor of your character all the time.
all of the time. And
I
it's
want to dress up my dolls. That's what I'm asking for.
when you dress up, I like at this point, like I'll be like very curious how I will be like very curious how Warframe got to be the gold standard in customization.
I don't know how. I don't know.
Yeah.
They just give me all the options.
Like by this point, we have discussed it so much on the podcast that by this point, I'm actually genuinely curious how did they get to like being a ninja power fantasy to like have such a important view into customizations, right? And they keep expanding this system.
Yeah, I have a theory with that.
Right, tell me about it.
I don't know how many like free to play mobile games have you ever played, but like in a lot of like Japanese or Chinese like gacha games,
All right, yeah,
like a big part of the game is
it's customization.
selling you quote unquote customization things.
Yeah.
And that's how they move a lot of money in the games, like just by selling you actually just
Yep.
either on loot boxes or gachas or however you want to call them.
Yeah.
Sell you skins for things that only exist on your phone.
Yes.
And I feel like Warframe took some inspiration of that, and like they just I will guess that they realized that a big part of this free to play market is being able to sell customization.
Okay, yeah.
And a lot of what Warframe sells are skins, if you think about it. Like
yeah. A lot, yeah.
like you can obtain the characters and you can play the game. That's for free. That's all fine and good.
But the majority
but looking cool, quote unquote, is what you end up paying more for. Like
it's a money game.
Yeah, so
looking
I
cool
get it.
is a
Warframe is a free to play game. They have to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they took a look at like a lot of the Asian free to play market and they realized, a lot of the money's moved through skins and customization. So,
and I would say like in true Warframe fashion, they do it. They did this through his community because they.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think they're the only game who has that program that they have, which I haven't like. I don't know any other game that has the Tenogen program. I don't know of any other game that has anything similar or close. Right?
Yeah, not like that, and that's right? That's pretty. Yeah, but I will assume that that's how Warframe came to it. Like they just realized that the more customization options we give the players, the more we can sell them. Like, but not in a bad way. Like we get it. Like they need to make money.
Yeah. See, it's not a bad way. It's not predatory. It's not forcing you. You don't have to buy any.
You don't have to, but you want to look cool.
Yes.
And you can play the whole game like looking plain AF. That's fine.
Yeah. And like for me, I haven't spent a dime into customization in the game. Like the majority of customization things I've acquired through playing the game, and I look decent. Like I don't look super cool.
That's probably their thing. Like they give you, like you can obtain some things like by watching their streams or any other mediums of interacting with the game.
Engaging with the game.
Yeah, engaging the community.
Yeah.
They give you small things so you can improve. And they tempt you to get deep into.
See this energy in the skin. Ooh. Like
It
I don't
looks
look as
so
pimp.
cool.
Like it's funny because we were playing with a new player last time, and like the
Yep.
contrast is hilarious. He's like the
Oh
new
yeah.
player, and I'm like in the middle because I haven't spent any money, but I'm already in the game. And then there is Lucho, with he already spent money on the
I'm
game. He
super
looks
decked
like
out.
super pimp out.
Yeah. Definitely.
So hilarious. Like we see the concert of like normal plain looking dude with just colors doing his best to look decent. Me as a middle type already on the end game, but not yet like pumping all the
Yeah.
platinum to the customization. And then Lucho, which is already on the planet. He already
Yeah.
ascended to the true end game.
To a pink rhino heaven.
Pink rain of heaven.
That's true.
So
And
yeah.
I feel, yeah, that's like I will guess that's why Warframe is so good. And I feel like a lot of these games could learn a thing or two from Warframe about what options to give to the players
In terms of
when
customization,
when we are talking
absolutely.
about
Absolutely.
dressing up dolls.
Yeah, from the most basic to the most crazy stuff as Warframe does. But yeah, and the frustrating thing is like the system exists, and it's just, man.
Yeah, and like you can actually change colors for some of the layers,
Yeah,
like for some of the shaders on the layers, and
yeah.
they could improve on that. They could expand it a little bit so you can have
More color options, more pieces to
yeah
color, etc., etc. Yeah. So that's the point. The system is there, and then with the expansion, it becomes even more clear because they keep they keep releasing good looking stuff.
yeah. Oh no, like I love the design of all the armor and the weapons.
Yeah,
Like they look super neat, but
they're trash to
it
use at
just
some
it just
point.
lacks the
Yeah,
little extra
yeah.
flair of
So yeah,
I don't.
please, Capcom, please do it. You have to do it. At this point, like everybody's been like forever since the game has been released, screaming this point to them.
Yep.
All right, next point.
Yeah.
Quality of life
The
shouldn't be
next.
left to the modding community.
Uh, yeah.
Oh my
We
god.
mentioned this last time a
Yes.
little bit that there are quite a couple of quality of life improvements that the modding people
Just fix
brought to
like
the
super
table.
easy.
Yeah, we talk about
The
the
drops, which
beams of
is
light
the beams of
to
light.
highlight
Yeah.
drops from the monsters.
Yeah, the loop beams, man. It's
Yeah,
like and how do you, like in testing, how do you don't realize this? Like you know that the monster is gonna drop a bunch of materials when you fight him, and
yeah,
you have to be seeing people who just misses the materials straight up, right? In some point in
maybe
testing.
I completely agree with you, but maybe it was it was a decision because they want to keep the focus during the fight on the monster.
Yeah.
And if you put too much focus on the things that they drop,
You will lose
like
the
it could
focus.
get lost a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I
even though
understand
the
that.
game is not that visually cluttered like other games, like there is not a lot of shit going
Yes, yes.
on the screen all the time. Like it's not like there are like explosions
Yeah,
and colors going
yeah.
because
but
that's not
there
the static of the game.
but there's some monsters which are very like flaring in that regard, right?
Yeah, but it's still but even for those monsters when you're hunting them in a full team. Like it's not like there are explosions going on and colors exploding all over the place and crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
That's not how a game looks. Like it's in that regard, it's a pretty toned down game. It's just
Yes.
there's a lot of flair on the movement, but there's no like noise on the screen.
Yes. True. True. True.
So it could be that they like I'm just guessing. It could be that they wanted to keep like a strong focus on the fight and on the mechanics, which fair enough. That's the strongest part of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If like for me, it's like if that was the problem, that was the decision point, right? That you don't want to distract the player from the fight, as you're talking about. The solution is super easy, barely an inconvenience, right? When the monster either dies or moves zone, you can activate the beams.
No, I completely agree. Like I'm just saying, it could have been on purpose.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
And even with that consideration in mind, now that we use the mod that puts the super bright beams on the...
Yeah. But they're not even that super bright. It's like a beam. It's like a small beam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, it's not even that distracted. Yeah.
But it's not that bad. And also monsters don't drop that much stuff. Like,
no. But like even so, you're still missing out in stuff that you need, right?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I was just playing devil's advocate, trying to think
why the decision.
It could have been on purpose, and it could have had a reason behind it. But now that we have the mod and whether we have experienced it, it's kind of not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but we have to clarify that we activate that mod like halfway through our
maybe later than that.
Later, right? I think when we're beginning to kill elder dragons, then no, we wanted to farm money, right?
Yes.
And I remember this. We wanted to farm money, and we went to check a video about how to farm the first monster of the game with the money clock, and then we realized that they have like some beams of light because they were saying that you miss things that the monster drops because they cannot clarify, and the video has like the beams, and then we put the beam mod on, and then we realized that there's like a bunch of drops that we haven't seen it before. But this was like late on our playthrough, so
this was late for us. Like I started messing with mods pretty late in my playthrough.
Yeah.
And I actually have a lot of visual mods, which is another thing. Like, like you know that I have mods that change how the NPCs look.
Okay, you went that deep on the rabbit hole.
Yeah, because it's fun. Like,
yeah, fair enough. Like the modding community in this game is surprisingly like big, and I've seen crazy videos about all types of stuff. Like
Nergigantes, Thomas the Train.
Yeah, Thomas the Train Engine, or like some dragons as Randy Savage, like weird stuff like that.
I never went that deep, but I definitely.
Or like the tiny Wincy Odogaron.
Yeah.
The tiny Wincy Dodogama.
The tiny Dodogama. So nice.
Tiny Dodogama, so cute. But that sort of stuff, the Gathering Hub not having access to all NPCs or some of the system. And the other thing that I will argue is like I actually don't like that much the questing system in this game.
Yeah, it's like how to get the quest.
How to get the quest, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
two-steppy. It's like, oh yeah, you go talk with the thing, open the book, and then you search the thing in the book, and then you search another menu in the book, and then you select the quest, and then you decide if you want to open to the other person, and then the other person has to run if they want to multiplayer with you.
You know, that's like the system works really well if you're playing alone.
Yeah.
When you're playing with someone, it gets kind of, dude, why do I have to do all of this?
Yeah, all of these points to like activate a quest.
Yeah, like it should be possible for us to say like we're in a group together and just let one of the
you select the quest that you want to go, and then you go to it.
Yeah,
the only screen that you actually need is the prepare screen, because that one is important, right? That's the only stop point that you need into selecting quest, right?
Yeah.
And
I feel like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The rest is unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
Like it'd be more easy if you just open a menu instead of going to an NPC and talk with it. Open a menu and select this quest. and then activate it, and that's it, right? And
Yeah,
then
and what I was gonna say is that works well if you're playing alone, but I feel like a lot of the multiplayer stuff feels too clunky.
yeah, absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
selecting quest and then you pause the quest and then your friend has to go and get into
Join,
that same quest and
same, do the same, and get into it, and then say that it's prepared, and then when everybody's ready, then
yeah, the multiplayer part is kind of not ideal. It's too much things going
yeah,
on
it's too much, it's too much.
unnecessarily.
Yeah, it's too much beating around the bush to do just one thing, right? I
Yeah,
think that system could be
in
way
multiplayer
better.
especially.
Yeah, especially when you and like this game is so much more fun in multiplayer.
It is. It is way
So
more
much
fun.
more fun in multiplayer. Like having a proper hunting party. Oh my god, so good. Having like multiple people like going around and try to kill the monster and flying. Anyways, but yeah, that system should be better. The other problem is the gathering hub, which we talk about. If you want the like after, because it makes sense after all the main story questing, you should be
Yep,
living in the gathering hub basically all the time,
I
right?
agree. And it's kind of funny because when you finish a quest or a hunt or whatever, like the game gives you the option to go back to the
To the
gathering
gathering
hub,
hub, yeah, yeah.
and you can select it and you go there and you realize, oh
I
shit,
have
I have to
to,
go to Smitty, I have to
yeah,
go to all these places that I cannot access from here.
yeah. So what is the point?
Yeah, exactly. No, so it's kind of
Like it's weird. It's weird in a quest that is weird in a hunt that you go back to your base and then you go straight out. Like it generally doesn't happen because people has to restock or do something else or check onto something else.
yeah,
So that loop is not that frequent, and I think that was the intention with the gathering hub. When you want to do a bunch of hunts all together, right? When you go
maybe,
hunt stuff, come back, you just restock and then hunt again. I think that was the main idea because you're in a group which wants to like hunt constantly. I think that's the idea. That was the idea of the design of the gathering hub.
maybe. Yeah, I can see that, but it still breaks the loop too much. Like if you're already in an organized group, like you can just tell your friends, like just give me a second, I'll just pick these things happen,
Yeah,
and that's it. Like
that's it. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, and I think that was the original thing. But with the mods, thank God you put like all your NPCs in the category is
oh,
so
it's so good,
so good when
so
you have
good,
to like
and
and
it breaks the game sometimes, but it's so
it
useful.
doesn't matter. Yeah, like it actually I think I broke one of my optional quests because I had
Yeah,
those mods activated, but I didn't care, man. Like, all right, I cannot do it. All right, that's fine. I prefer to
that's
have like
fine.
I prefer to have my quality of life and keep playing the game easier than actually have to
I,
like
I
re-roll and do stuff.
I agree.
And
No,
and
it's
and that important, like I want to stress, is that important, those quality of life, when you get too used to them, that you actually like don't care missing out on like main content about the game because you want to
you know when those NPCs in the game have feel that they're missing a lot when you're doing Gulf Tarot.
yes, absolutely.
Because the whole way to access the siege is in the gathering hub,
Yep.
because you see that it just feels more natural for the loop around the siege to revolve around the gathering hub, so that
Yeah.
it makes more sense to have everything there because you don't want to leave that zone. Like
Yeah, for doing culture, and you want to do this hunt multiple times.
yeah, so and you wanna finish the siege, check the weapons, do all the things that you wanna do
And then go
there
back
on
to
the
this.
gathering
Yeah,
hub,
yeah.
and then launch the next one just there.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I think that was the moment when I installed that mod.
yeah.
And we were doing Kultarov. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because there, like at that point, it feels like, especially when you get into a session where everyone is doing cold tarot, like the whole session is doing cold tarot,
Yeah,
so it's moving pretty fast. Like Like you do the siege in a couple of runs, like maybe 2 or 3. It finish. Everyone checks the weapons and the stuff and the loot.
Yeah.
And then they get back into it. So it moves pretty fast. So you want everything to be around there.
Yes. Yes.
That was a point where we install that mod.
That mod, yeah, specifically, yeah. But yeah, what else in terms of quality of life improvements besides those three? I think those are the main things in terms of quality of life improvements. There is nothing like else that I will add.
Not really.
Not really. Right?
I have some complaints. I play with keyboard and mouse.
Yep.
And some of the controls feel kind of funky, really. But
yeah, I don't think
it really feels like a port on that regard. Like
on keyboard and mouse, that makes sense.
But it feels too much for something. Like, for example, to adjust the sensitivity of the mouse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super complicated. It's not like...
It's not a slider?
It is a slider, but it doesn't say sensitivity. It says something else.
Oh, my... Okay.
So it's confusing.
Fair enough.
And for example... how is it called? The crafting wheel that is not a wheel.
The crafting wheel.
Like when you play with...
the crafting material things. Those menus that you open.
That you can access all the time, that it's super fast.
Yeah.
It is by default, like, on mouse and keyboard is bind, like, the keybinds are F1 to F4.
F1? What?
Yeah. So it's kind of funky when you have your hand on WSD, and then if you want a quick access to that one, you have to like move your hand a lot.
A finger will grow from the top of your hand.
Yeah. So it's not that easy to use if you don't have like extra buttons on your mouse, for example, which the ideal thing would be to have one of those mouses that have like a little pad on the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can bind then everything to those.
Yes.
That would be the ideal. I don't have one of those. I have a simple like 5-button mouse.
Yeah.
But that, for example, that binding is kind of counterintuitive. Like, dude, why F1 to F4?
Yeah, F1, yeah. I insist, like a 6-finger will grow from the top of your hand.
Yeah, so those are the kind of things where I say, it feels too much like a port.
Yeah, I play in Control. It feels super natural all the time. And it feels like the game is designed with Control in mind. That's the thing.
It was, and I'm pretty sure they put a lot of thought on how to translate that to mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
But you can see that they don't have the experience. Like, it's evident that they don't have the experience on how to develop the control schemes for mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, it's clear.
It just jumps into your face. It's a criticism. You kind of get used to it, but it could be way better.
It could be way better. Yeah, absolutely. And for our last point, give me your best new monster.
Yeah, so
we haven't seen the new monsters in Iceborne, right?
No, we haven't. Iceborne is out there. We haven't seen anything.
Nothing.
And this is just like this is a thing that I was thinking about the monsters that are at least on the base version of the game.
Yeah.
And they all feel too dragony, if you know what I mean.
Too dragony.
Yeah, all of them are kind of
dragons.
Variations of lizards.
Yes. They're lizard likes.
Yeah.
Lizard with
there are
more
just
chunky.
A few of them that are not that like
the only one lizard one is like, I don't know, the horse, like Kirin.
Also Palomu is not.
It's not the lizard.
It's a proper bird, and the poison guy. I forgot.
The poison guy.
No, also a poison guy. The first bird that throws poison at you.
No. Yes, I know which one. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that one feels like a proper bird.
Yeah. But aside from like the mod and the two fishes.
Yeah, the two fishes. Yeah.
But even those feel kind of lizard-like because they
Yes,
have feet.
absolutely. Yes.
Like so I'll say aside from Kirin and the three
Birds.
the real two birds that we have in the game.
And the Kulukaju, which is technically a bird.
Oh yeah, the three birds then.
Yeah.
All of the other ones are kind of lizard-like
or doggy-like. Because like Odogaron and the Lunastra and Teostra, they're kind of like in Nergigante, they're kind of like cat dog-like. Cat kind of like four-legged cat dog-like type.
Yeah, but they still feel really close to the others, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So in the field, like I know, like for sure they have different skeletons and all that Jason thing. But I was thinking it would be really nice to have insect monsters.
Yeah. Like have you ever seen the old games?
Yep.
Videos of the old games?
Yep.
Have you seen there's this crazy insect which uses like spider webs and is like a mantis to make machines move?
Yep.
Something like that, something crazy like that.
Not something crazy like that, but like anything more insect-like would be pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I would say
like I don't know, like a spider-like monster, or like a mantis, like.
Ooh, yeah.
And like you can have they can spit out poison and webs that bind you to the ground or that trap you in the ground, for example.
Ooh, that'd be so cool.
Like a spider-like monster would be really cool.
Monster would be really cool. Yeah, I would like a monkey-like monster.
Yeah, one of the older games also has a monkey-like.
Apparently.
Yeah, like these things are not like completely new. Like the game is old, that they have.
It has a lot of crazy stuff. They even have like a flying eye mouth kind of monster that has tentacles.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, definitely. But the point is that Monster Hunter World feels too lacking in variety.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Like we should have insects and monkeys and other mammals and
and kind of like
things like that, you know?
Like an octopus kind of monster will be super interesting.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, an octopus like monster, yeah. Like in this game, like and the things like this lore and this world, it has those types of monsters. Like they're not outside of the realm of what is conceptualized. But yeah, like if you could choose one, it would be I don't know, for me it would be like a monkey like, for you it would be like kind of a spider like, I guess. For the new monsters.
Yeah, I want insects. I think insects can be really super intimidating and like they can have a lot of interesting mechanics.
I'm with you on that. I would love to have like insects monsters. It'd be super terrifying because I'm kind of scared of some insects. But
like for example, a spider-like thing on the forest environment.
Yeah.
It would be super cool that it could walk like on the roof.
Yeah.
And it could hide in between the trees and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
It would be really cool.
Yes, I agree. And in the Rotenville, you can have what? Like a big kind of like a beetle, but like a very dangerous beetle. Or like those crickets weird that there is insects in the actual game. Like you have those little crickets that
but they're all like small monsters.
Yeah, they're small monsters. Where we're talking like a big, like kind of like one big cricket, the mama of those little crickets. They're like
that would be really cool. Yeah. Yeah, or like a big version of those that commands all of them.
Yeah. Like
that would be pretty cool. Yeah,
that would be super cool. All right, I think that concludes our deep dive. That is our criticism of Monster Hunter World, and
it has its flaws. It's not perfect.
It's not perfect game.
Like The Witcher 3, which is so perfect.
Jesus Christ. It is perfect
game.
It is perfect game. It is acclaimed. It is a marvelous of game design, and his company is godsend. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Oh my God, Lucho, you're gonna kill me.
It's so good.
All right, we're gonna go to our audience questions and feedback. Remember, you can write us down, send us comments, send us Twitter, send us a pigeon if you want to.
Yep.
Whatever you want. At the Sweaty Farmer and the Game Design, or through our email, through our personal messages. You can
Twitter.
send through UPS, to mail, whatever you want, man. Your questions. So, what?
Twitter,
To
your
Twitter,
Twitch.
Facebook, yeah, Twitch. Yeah, you can come. You can come even to my stream and ask questions about the podcast. We will include it into the podcast anyway. So we have 2 questions for today. The first one. So what is the actual lore in Monster Hunter World?
What is the actual lore? There are monsters out there. It's a dangerous place. You go and kill them and make hats out of them. That's the lore.
I think the question was like the actual lore of Monster Hunter World in terms of history is super weird, man. It's super weird.
Is that we send fleets of hunters to explore this new continent that was found?
It's super weird because, as I understand, it's something like there was like elder dragons used to be smart, and then they have like a war, and then there is this thing about the 5 points of the 5 elder dragons that created the war, because supposedly this war is being created by elder dragons. Yep. Very powerful dragons, and they become stars. But as I check out in the past, in the history past, it's like they have a war with one of the dragons which want to rule. It's super weird. You just better off checking it in a wiki, really. Whatever I tell you, it's like,
yeah, but the gist is that for Monster Hunter World,
for Monster Hunter World,
we discover a new continent and we are out to explore what's happening on this new continent.
Because one of the elder dragons is going there, or like a lot of elder dragons are being going.
Yeah, we are basically following a big surge of energy that was created by one of these big elder dragons moving towards this new continent.
Yeah. That's the actual lore of Monster Hunter World. For those of you who want to know.
There is a new continent and we are out to explore its new monsters. And it's super interesting when we find that there are all monsters coming to a new world, like Devil Joe.
Yeah. Like the Angry Pickle.
Like the Angry Pickle.
Yeah, and that's the actual lore, and they're supposed to be like fleets that go, and there's this organization about like hunting and exploring parts of the world, and that's kind of like the gist of the lore in Monster Hunter World, to be more exact, because the question is fair. I feel like we didn't talk about much of the actual lore in the other podcast.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And the second question is, would you like more Kulftaro type activities, and how will you make one?
Yes, I would like more. All of them.
All of them, all the time.
No, there is one. Oh, I forgot. There is one in one of the old games. One of the sieges was against a big ass spider-like monster.
Okay. Ooh.
And it's actual, like the rotten, like in the rotten bale.
Oh,
is
what?
The actual, the rotten bale is the body of that monster.
Ah, yeah, I remember that. It's a serpent, right? It was like this big serpent, and then there was like this big monster, and then you kill the serpent, and that's why you find like a skull of a thing like opening one of the parts of the rotten bale.
That big as a skull. Yeah, the rotten bale is the decaying body of that monster.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of this world is very interesting.
It is.
But it's super weird.
It is super weird. And I would like a serpent-like kind of thing. Like siege will be really interesting.
Yeah, I really like the stages. I would like something like that all the time for this type of activity, sieges. You go through stages and you have to do different stuff, and you have to prepare differently for the stages. That's the most important. That's the most interesting thing in Kultarot, I think.
Yeah.
That you have to actually go back to the camp after you remove her hide and change and prepare differently for the next fight. I think that would be that'll be how I will do a more interesting stage like with Tarot, that you have more of those stages. You have to go back and change for the next fight against the same monster.
That you have to prepare for each stage in a different manner.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's how it will make it. But yeah, the monster, like the serpent idea is cool, and a big like a super big spider-like insect, that will be cool too. Like a colony.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, like going into a colony of like a big insect, and you fight like the queen, and then you fight after the king and something like that. Right?
Oh yeah.
Like the siege. Like imagine the siege of a throne, and then you go to a place and try to get into the nest, and you fight a lot of medium-sized monsters, right? And
that would be pretty cool. Yeah.
And then at the end you fight
you're fighting this hive-like entity.
Yeah, and then you find that the guardian, and then the guardian is one of big monster, and then you change, and then you go and have to find the queen, and then you start fighting the queen in 2 stages, and then at the end you kill the queen, and then the last stage is a king.
Yeah,
and then you find
and
cool. You end the siege. Super cool. So really rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, the multiple go in and fight with it, and then that's a very interesting part. Like the fact that you don't get to all the stages in the first try is super interesting too.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that you see some stages and then she runs away, that disappears, so you lose the thing, and then you have to go back and again do it.
Yeah, and that the first stages become easier and faster.
Yeah.
The further away the whole group advances on the siege.
Yeah.
Yep.
That system is, I feel, really compelling, really cool.
Yeah.
All right. And I think that's
Agreed.
it.
That's it. That's all for this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in into The Sweaty Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho. You can find me on Twitter at Luis G. Polanco.
And I am the London Gamer, and you can find me on Twitter at the London Gamer, and on Twitch TV/TLNG, where I stream Mondays to Friday all these games that we talk about here in the stream. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to The Sweaty, the Farmer, and the Game Design. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And did you know, despite their names, strawberries aren't technically berries. They're accessory fruit, like a purse or a ring.
Yeah, I mean, some are that the strawberries are members of the rose family. Should you come upon a bush of them growing, you'll see they smell as sweet as they taste.
Oh, so like they're like an accessory rose, so you can like pen a strawberry and then, I have an accessory, and then eat it.
Basically. That's what that implies, of course.
Yeah, strawberries are my favorite fruit, and I didn't know that they were actually accessories and not real like proper fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
They're not real, people. Get into the thing.